Less than 36 hours to the Bayelsa State governorship elections, and Governor Siraki Dixon has asked Bayelsans to be peaceful all through the elections and to resist all temptations to engage in violence. The governor also defended his administration's performance despite a shortfall in federal fiscal allocation. He outlined what he describes as the enduring legacies his administration has put in place, including infrastructure, roads and bridges, health facilities and major investments in the education sector.
You are acknowledging the wide clamor for my re-election. That is because of what we've been able to put on ground and the expectation that we will consolidate on these gains and even do better. Take, for example, we have been able to do all of this even with the fact that we have received far less money by way of federal allocation than my predecessor did. He received from our records, available records, from FAC Federation accounts between 2007 to 2012. What accrued to this state by February 2012 was 847 billion. And in spite of this, you know the loans and the debts that he plunged us into, which we are still paying. You know, that is what Bayelsans have to vote against. We, on the other hand, from 2012 February till October, now we have received 599 billion. 599 billion as against 847 billion. And yet we have built more roads, put in place a flyover, put in place 26 schools with boarding facilities, building hospitals, building bridges that they didn't build.
Nigeria's president has arrived in South Africa for the Forum of China-Africa Cooperation. After touching down at the Waterkloof Air Force Base this evening, the President Muhammadu Buhari proceeded to Johannesburg, where the forum will be taking place. President Buhari will join other leaders tomorrow morning for the FOCAC opening. He will also meet with business leaders from China and Africa, while in the evening he will hold bilateral talks with President Xi Jinping of China. Nigeria delegation are the Ministers of Foreign Affairs, Transport, Trade and Industry. Well, another cheery news from First Consultant Medical Center in Lagos, as the wife of a male Ebola survivor, Dr. Adewale Adejoro, has been delivered of a healthy Ebola-free baby girl. According to the hospital medical doctor, Dr. Benjamin Ohaire, who made the birth announcement today, Mr. Okweyemi put to bed at 7:24 p.m. on Tuesday, the 1st of December 2015. The baby girl was said to weigh 3 kilograms at birth and was delivered following the strict guidelines of the recommendations from the Center for Disease Control in the USA through the prenatal and delivery stages. It will be recalled that in November 2015, First Consultant Medical Center celebrated safe delivery of a baby girl by Dr. Ada Igono, another Ebola survivor in the United States. More stories now. Learn Africa Educational Development Foundation, with the close collaboration of National Examinations Council, NECO, today presented awards and cash prizes to deserving students who excelled in the last NECO examination. At the award ceremony held in Lagos today, 7 students from different states across the country with overall best grades nationally and in certain selected subjects won cash prizes of between 50,000 naira to 100,000 naira each. Our correspondent, Shola Shoile, reports.
Rewarding excellence and ensuring that all stakeholders saddled with the task of fashioning a great future for the country are eminently giving their pride of place is what has brought these students, teachers and parents together. It's an initiative of Learn Africa Education Development Foundation.
In Learn Africa, we truly believe that there is a seed of greatness in every child, in every boy, and in every girl. However, it takes remarkable skills to dig deep and bring that greatness in each child to the fore in the shape and form that everyone can touch, feel, and readily identify with. This is the whole essence of Learn Africa NECO Excellence Awards. I would like to use this opportunity to inform the general public that Learn Africa PLC and its foundation has no input whatsoever in the selection of these awardees.
The overall best 3 candidates in the NECO examinations nationally were given awards, laptops and cash prizes. Awards were also given to the best students in English and mathematics. The best students in biology and history also bagged awards in honor of 2 eminent Nigerians, the late Dr. Stella Adadebo and late Jacob Adeajayi, who distinguished themselves in their professional calling.
The Holy Bible says, "See as though a man who is diligent in his dealings will stand before kings and not mere men." So we should work hard. Yes, that's the only way we can take our country to greater heights.
The excellent teachers who taught their students were also recognized, and the overall best teacher got a cash gift and an award.
So a good teacher should be able to seriously be interested in the children and look above the immediate reward, look above the extrinsic reward.
Excellence is what we all strive for, and so this company is a company that rewards excellence, and we want to do that at all the time. Our books are known for quality. We don't compromise quality. Our watchword is quality.
Learn Africa PLC, formerly known as Longman Nigeria PLC, has so far given prizes to over 110 students, most of whom have gone on to leading higher institutions in the country and abroad. Shola Shuyeli, Channels Television News.
The Forum on China-Africa Cooperation has been flagged off with a meeting of ministers of the attending countries in Pretoria. The theme of the forum is Africa-China progressing together, win-win cooperation for common development. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari will be joining other leaders for the summit tomorrow. Our correspondent Betty Dibia reports from Pretoria, South Africa.
Below 35 years. So the investment with us is an investment for the future.
President Muhammadu Buhari is expected to join the biggest summit on Friday and will be meeting his Chinese counterpart on the sidelines to discuss, among other things, investment in rail infrastructure and renegotiation of already standing agreements.
We really need to put in place in the country appropriate and fit-for-purpose infrastructure. The Chinese have an excellent track record, in this area. They're also extremely generous in terms of soft loans, and so we're looking to them to partner with us in putting in place appropriate infrastructure, road infrastructure, rail infrastructure, and air transport infrastructure.
South Africa, on its part, signed more than 20 agreements with China on Wednesday, touching on many two-way beneficial business opportunities. But on a continental scale, how much more should Africa push for from its largest trade partner?
There are investment opportunities in infrastructure. When we looked at the North-South corridor, and we've presented that as one of those projects to invest in. But we're also using another lever, which is the establishment of the Africa Regional Center of the BRICS Bank.
We also have to be a lot more engaged. I think it can never be a question of just sitting back and allowing somebody else, to come and do it for you. We have to be engaged. We have to provide, counterpart funding.
Two-way trade volumes with China exceeded $200 billion in 2013, and China has become Africa's largest trade partner for 5 years in a row. Apart from his participation in the main sessions of the summit, President Muhammadu Buhari is expected to hold smaller side meetings, which include bilaterals with the President of Mali. He's also expected to meet captains of industry in Johannesburg and hold a breakfast meeting on Saturday with the Chinese delegation His main presentation on Saturday as well, which is the last day of the summit, will come between 9 and 12 local time. From the Department of International Relations in Pretoria, South Africa, Betsy Dibia, Channels Television News.
Well, for more business now, let's join Harriet Agbeyi on Business News.
Thank you, Gimba. Welcome to Business News. The El Nino weather phenomenon is causing some African countries, especially countries in East Africa, to experience what has been described as the worst droughts in decades. In Ethiopia, devastating drought has claimed thousands of livestock, causing many to fear a looming case of famine. According to the Sub-Regional Coordinator for Eastern Africa Food and Agricultural Organization, Dr. Patrick Kumowa, more than 14 million people, including children, are facing starvation and will be malnourished if the problem is not addressed. Participants at the 5th Nigerian Liquefied Petroleum Gas Association Conference have called on the federal government to support the use of cooking gas in the country. The event, which held in Lagos, provided an avenue to proffer solutions to the problem of desertification and ill health. Business News correspondent Bolaji Akinwale reports.
This gathering is the 5th Nigeria Liquefied Petroleum Gas Association Conference. It is advocating a total shift to the use of liquefied petroleum gas for cooking, as against other sources of energy such as wood and kerosene, which are not only harmful to health but also to the environment. The president of the association, Mr. Dayo Adeshino, notes that the event coincides with world leaders talking about addressing the negative impacts of climate change on the environment.
The president has made a pronouncement at COP21 saying that he's committing Nigeria to 20% greenhouse gas emissions reduction, and we would play a critical part in meeting that target, especially if the switch to LPG is made.
We have the potential to grow LPG consumption to over 3 million tons per annum. Currently, we're just doing about 350. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done at the level of investing in infrastructure so that we can move the product efficiently in bulk and reduce the unit freight cost of the product, make it affordable, and awareness.
The keynote speaker, Professor Kirk Smith, points out the need for social investment by government to encourage the use of LPG among the poor.
If those investments are targeted toward the poor people, then we can think of them as social investments, not as subsidies.
For a long time, Kano State has been trying to encourage our people to stop cutting down trees, to also use liquefied natural gas.
And now the clarion call to government at all levels is:
we must save our women, we must save our mothers. Women must not cook to die, they must cook to live.
LPG is described as the cleanest and most suitable fuel for cooking. Nigeria is expected to tow the path of other countries in addressing the issues of desertification, which will in turn preserve lives and improve standards of living. Bolaji Akinwale for Channels Television News.
The local equities market clawed an almost 1% gain today after a repeated bout of negative trading. Total volume and value traded, however, decreased by 35 and 42.4% respectively, as 18 equities gained, while 21 declined. BC Adebayo has a report of today's session.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Reports. For the first time since December started, the stock market heads north, recovering from over 5 days of bearish trade. The all-share index appreciated by 0.99%. to close at 27,559.18. Market capitalization also grew to 9.47 trillion naira. Nigerian breweries led 21 other price appreciators, including Dangote Cement and Presco. On the flip side, 18 stocks declined, and top on that list was WAPCO, which lost 0.70%. Ikeja Hotel and Portland Paint also declined by 9.49% and 5% respectively. Bank stocks drove market volume, with Guarantee Trust Bank pulling the highest volume of 88.77 million shares. When stocks crossed the finish line, investors had exchanged 249.09 million shares, valued at 3.07 billion naira, in over 2,500 deals. And that ends the stock market reports. I am BC Adebayo.
Well, most of the other stock markets we track here on Business News also finished in lackluster territory. And that's Business News. Gimba will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
Guinness Nigeria PLC has launched a new drink into the market, Guinness Africa Special. This is in addition to the smooth black stout family made from locally sourced materials. At the official launch of Guinness Africa Special, the special guest, the Irish Minister of Agriculture, Food and Marine, commended the company for the sustenance of its high standards.
There we go. Okay, this way.
After the unveiling of the plaque commemorating the visit of the Irish Minister for Agriculture, Food and Marine in Nigeria for the first time, the gathering moves to the hall for the main business of the day. Guinness Nigeria PLC is launching a new drink, Guinness Africa Special, made of 43% locally sourced materials.
Guinness in many ways is a product, a brand that brings Irish people and Nigerian people together. So the launch of a significant new product and brand that really has a flavour of Africa and a flavour of Nigeria about it is a special occasion. And so it gives me huge pleasure that actually I am here at the home of Guinness in Africa, in Nigeria, to launch Guinness Africa Special Stout.
As glasses of Guinness Africa Special clink, the managing director speaks about the content of the drink.
43% of our inputs is locally sourced. Our intent and our ambition is to increase that to 75% over the next 2 to 3 years. That, of course, requires us to do a lot of work with farmers, support farmers in terms of investment in agronomy support, support farmers in accessing financing, and support farmers to improve quality. We believe that the use of local raw material will enable us to be able to add value both to our business commercially, but also to be a lot more sustainable as a business going forward.
Sustaining the year-in, year-out quality of the Guinness brand is what the company is prioritizing.
The new Guinness Africa Special, which is a Guinness that has been made here by our people and for our people, and also it is our own. It takes its own vibrant quality from the original Guinness, and we are very proud of that. And you can hear from what the minister said, that they are very proud of our factory and the level of quality of the product that are coming there and the level of hygiene that is in this factory.
Guinness Nigeria PLC plans to increase its use of local materials by as much as 75% in its products in the coming years.
And next on the news at 10, Nigeria's poor showing in global football rankings continues as the nation slips to the 66th from the 59th position. That's on Sports News. Stay with us.